Good afternoon. This is the COT data video for the week beginning the 22nd of January. Now the Euro FX has ticked down lower quite significantly, but I suspect what might happen is that this will continue to tick lower because of the macro fundamentals that are going on in the world, and also with the fact that we might have a Trump victory. So if we do have a situation where Trump is the president again, it's going to be an issue for the Eurozone because Trump wants to pull out of NATO, and without US support, NATO are going to have a lot of difficulties on the Eastern European borders against Russia, and they're going to have to really go for peace talks. And if there aren't any peace talks, then NATO is going to struggle without US military assistance. So it's a big issue for the Eurozone if Trump becomes president. Okay, so they'll need to have peace talks soon, and it's been going on for way too long anyway, and I don't know why they haven't had peace talks already. I guess they want the war machine to keep going, and it's good business, isn't it? War is good business, so I guess that's the rationale for that. But really, Biden's administration should have sought peace, but he wasn't interested in that, and people, I don't want to make it a political video, but it will be quite bad for the euro if Trump becomes president. Okay, so this should tick down strongly, and that will tell us the likelihood of a Trump victory if this continues lower. And don't forget, we did tick below zero, and this is where we nearly went to parity. No, we broke parity, didn't we? Yeah, we did. We weren't below 1 back then. So be careful with the Eurozone because the fundamentals could get ugly. Okay, let's look at the yen, and also note that the dollar is stable. It tipped down slightly, but the Eurozone, the Euro FX, did strongly move. Okay, I've got a feeling that the pound's going to be quite strong. We'll have a look at that in a second. Yen, because the UK inflation data we had, so it might indicate a bit of pound strength. We'll have to see. Sideways on the yen. So nothing really to be said there, just sideways. Let's look at the pound quickly. We'll look at the pound and we'll go to Aussie. Yeah, I thought so. That might have been the case. The inflation came in hotter than expected, so the Bank of England might hike. If so, it's going to strengthen the pound from a sort of, from that perspective, from a fundamental view, is that we could see a strengthening on the pound. And also we saw the retail guys, they did sell the pound crosses, and we got a good score on them as well, on the QDB scores. So they've had good scores all week. So that's of note. So the pound is strengthening, and we went from 15,000 to 30,000 in the space of a week. So we doubled in a week. So obviously big resistance here, and if you remember, we created the channel, we made a lower high and a lower low, and we had a big fall there. So it might be doing something similar. We might have some resistance up here, but be careful with the pound, I think. If we go risk off, which I'm not sure if we will next week, then this will it will struggle a little bit. But if we're going to continue to go to all-time high, then this can do okay, because it's quite risky, the pound. Not as risky as the Aussie, so we'll look at that now, and it's just erratic and choppy, and we've come from minus 32 to minus 47, so it's quite a big decrease there. So far Euro's ticked down, the dollar has ticked down, the Aussie, but then the yen is sideways, but the pound is up. Okay, so far we'll keep yen on, because it's good to keep yen on there, because I know a lot of people do trade cross yen. CAD, let's have a look. Oh, okay, we did surge a lot, and we've come down. We sort of ticked down slightly. I'm not sure if this is going to be a temporary thing. Obviously this is going to be reflecting oil price. Oil price should be coming up higher because of the Red Sea issue, and it's a supply chain issue. About really what they have to do is they have to circumnavigate Africa, because they can't go through the Red Sea, because shipping companies aren't going through there because they'll get attacked. So we have to navigate all around Africa, and that's obviously going to cause more of a sort of a demand issue really. So that if demand is stronger, the oil price should get higher, and CAD should also tick higher as well, because they're exporting oil. So that should tick up higher. Okay, so be careful there with the CAD. I think this is a momentary blip, and we might do this. Okay, CAD off, gold on. Gold's going to be interesting. Alright, so this is the first time I've seen it, by the way. This is the, when you see this, it's the first time I've seen it too. We've come from 188 to 179, a slight tick down, and then again. So that's the third week in a row now. Okay, so just be aware of that. We have got some resistance here. We've had a triple top resistance and a double top here. So bit tricky. Probably might see a little bit of weakness on gold, and then that will be it after the New Zealand dollar and the Swiss franc. Kiwi is sideways. It has been for ages. It tries to go above the zero line, but it fails. We did go above it momentarily, but then we just got sold off. So the sideways chop on the New Zealand dollar. And also it's quite interesting to note that the herd, my FX book, are very prone for going very strongly one way or the other with the New Zealand dollar, and they can move like 30% in a day. I'm not sure why they switch bias so strongly on the NZD. So let's look at the Swiss franc, and probably sideways as well. So that's today's video, and I'll wrap up now, and I'll speak to you guys on Monday, and we can do lots of feedback and lots of videos and trade setups in Discord. Remember, do check your Discord, and you can get some trade ideas in there and stuff. And we are currently working on a optimal trade entry strategy, so if you want to learn with us as we learn together, then that could be good for you as well. But it looks really good. We've nailed the entry, but it's just the exit that we'll be looking at this week. And if we nail the exit, we've got a complete system, and that'd be amazing. So it will mean that you can free up the rest of your day. All you got to do is just have like one trade a day, and then that'll be it. So that'd be fantastic. So hopefully that works out, and I'll speak to you guys on Monday.